It was around 3 a.m. You know that time when the world is quiet and the veil between things feels thinner. They say 3 a.m. is spiritually liminal, when energy shifts and the unseen world leans just a little closer. And honestly, I believe it, because things tend to get a little weird around then, in the most magical way. That night I couldn't sleep, so I decided to go deep, really deep into meditation, blending it with past life regression. There had always been this energy around a man I used to know long ago, an old friend. Something about him felt strangely familiar, like I'd known him before. So, I set the intention to visit the lifetime where our souls had first met, to see who he was to me back then, and why that bond still echoes now. As I sank deeper, the edges of this world began to fade, and suddenly, I was there. Somewhere in the 14th century, I was a Native American woman living among the Iroquois. The air was thick with pine and smoke, and beside me stood my father, tall, calm, and wise, the kind of presence that radiates safety without a single word. He taught me to listen to the stars, to see the sacred in every part of nature, the wind, the rivers, the silence between heartbeats. And every time he wanted to remind me that we were connected, he'd smile, link his fingers with mine, and say, same, same, like this, same, same. In that instant, I knew. I recognized the soul behind his eyes. The father in that lifetime was the same soul as that friend, the one from this lifetime. And it just clicked. That deep familiarity, that strange comfort, that unspoken recognition, it all made sense. He called me Saweo. When I came back to myself, I couldn't shake that name, so I looked it up. The closest I found was Saweya, Arabic, from the root word sawa, meaning equal or same. And I just sat there, stunned, because how perfect is that? Later, I reached out in meditation to the higher self of that old friend. I showed him the forest where we once lived, and that symbol, our two fingers linked together, same, same. In that stillness, I felt his presence clearly. He said, "We were meant to find each other again, but it's okay that we couldn't stay. I will always love you, as a father, as a guide, as a soul who walks beside you." And in that moment, something inside me shifted. A piece of grief, lifetimes old, finally released. The kind of peace you don't realize you've been missing until it finds you. Later that night, in the quiet, another kind of energy began to arise. Almost the mirror opposite of that first connection, a contrast, not a comfort, but a reflection. The kind of energy that shows you your edges, your light, your shadow, and asks you to hold both. And again, that calm, ancient voice whispered, "Not everything is meant to be the same. Some paths run parallel, never crossing, yet moving together towards balance." That's when I understood. Not all soul ties are meant to merge. Some are meant to teach, some are meant to balance, and some, like that Iroquois father, exist simply to remind us that love never really leaves. It just changes form. I didn't get much sleep that night, but I woke up with something better, a deep sense of peace. Because sometimes, healing doesn't happen in the present. It happens in the spaces between lifetimes, and whispers that travel through time, repeating the same truth again and again. Same, same. Always. It was a wintry late afternoon. the kind of cold, quiet day where the world feels suspended in time. I decided to do a past life regression meditation, not expecting much, just curious. As my breathing slowed, the edges of the present began to blur. And then, almost imperceptibly, I slipped somewhere else. When my eyes opened, I was no longer myself. I stood on the deck of a great wooden ship. The scent of salt and oak thick in the air. The sea stretched endlessly before me, gray and shimmering beneath a pale sky. My hands were calloused, strong, a sailor's hands. My hair was light, almost blonde, and the breeze tugged at it like an old friend. England, perhaps, somewhere between the 12th and 15th century. I had a wife waiting at home, kind, weary, patient, and 3 small children whose laughter echoed faintly in my memory. They were my reason to return. But the sea was my freedom. I loved them deeply, but my heart belonged to the horizon. Life aboard the ship was rough, but the camaraderie made it worth it. And among all the sailors, there was one man, my closest friend, loyal, spirited, always at my side. His presence felt strangely familiar, like a note from a song I've known forever. We, along with the other sailors, loved to drink together in the taverns to have fun and unwind after long voyages. Our laughter spilling through the candlelit air, the scent of ale and seawater all around us. Those were our moments of freedom, of friendship, of forgetting the dangers waiting beyond the shore. As the meditation deepened, I began to see him more clearly. The slope of his shoulders, the sound of his laugh. And then it hit me. I knew exactly who he was. It was my fiancé, the same soul who stands beside me in this lifetime. We were like brothers back then, bound by adventure, laughter, and the endless call of the sea. I remember one night vividly, the glow of lanterns, the waves crashing softly in the distance, our mugs raised high. But the ocean has a cruel sense of memory. One stormy night, after too much drink, he lost his footing on deck. I turned, too late, and saw him vanish into the dark water. The sea swallowed him whole. The silence afterward was unbearable. I was shaken to my core, heartbroken beyond words. From that moment on, I vowed I would never drink again. The pain of witnessing him go overboard, of knowing I couldn't save him, carved that promise deep into my soul. And here's the part that still gives me chills. In this life, neither of us drink, not a drop. We've both always felt the same disquiet in alcohol, as if that vow never faded. And he still can't swim. 2 years ago, we visited a maritime museum together. A ship docked by a lake turned into an exhibit. We climbed aboard, laughing and exploring the narrow decks. But when we reached the railing and looked down into the dark, deep water, he froze. His hands gripped the edge. His breath caught. He said he was afraid of heights. And I couldn't help but smile softly to myself. Of course you are, I thought. You fell from a ship once, long ago. There's something achingly beautiful about that realization, that across centuries and lifetimes, we found each other again. Once as friends who shared the same wind and waves, now as soulmates, sharing that same life and dreams. Now as soulmates, sharing the same life and dreams. There's something achingly beautiful about that realization, that across centuries and lifetimes we found each other again, once as friends who shared the same wind and waves, now as soulmates sharing the same life and dreams. Maybe that's what love across lifetimes really means, finding that person your soul already knows, and feeling that instant, inexplicable familiarity, the kind that makes you feel safe and at home. Sometimes I look at him now, the way he laughs, the way his presence feels like calm after a storm, and I just know. We've done this before. We've loved before. And somehow, against the odds of time and tide, we found each other again. Maybe that's what reincarnation really is. Not just reliving, but remembering. Not just crossing oceans, but finally finding your way back home. In this past life regression, I found myself as a man, a humble carpenter living in what I think might be the 11th century Saudi Arabia, in a small sun-warm village surrounded by desert and silence. The scent of carved cedar and dust filled the air. Life was simple and steady. I had a teenage son, my apprentice, who worked beside me, shaping wood with patient hands. He rarely spoke, but his presence brought a quiet light to my days. I also had a wife who I loved deeply, though I always sensed she did not love me in return. Her indifference hurt, but I carried it with acceptance, finding solace in my craft and my son's company. Our home and workshop were humble, part of a small isolated community. I often felt peace there, and yet, in that peace, an undercurrent of loneliness. My name in that lifetime was Gufran. During that regression, something remarkable happened. Guided by imagination, I decided to have my past self walk over and embrace my son as he works. But as I did, something beyond imagination took hold, a force that felt real. I could feel his energy, not from my mind, but from somewhere else. He was startled, hesitant, unsure why I was hugging him, and yet beneath that hesitation there was warmth. A love quietly received. It was if in that moment I truly crossed time and caused an action in the past. I didn't just see it, I didn't just imagine it, I felt it. And that's when a realization came to me. Maybe time isn't linear at all. Maybe all of it exists at once. Perhaps Gufran wasn't reacting to a future version of himself reaching through time, but rather, in that very moment, I was his higher self guiding him to do it. Maybe the present, past, and future flow together, simultaneous, different rooms within the same eternal house of being. Later in that lifetime, I saw how my story ended. Our trade caravan had broken down in the middle of the desert, far from any town. The sun burned high, our supplies dwindled, and one by one, we began to fade. My final moments were spent lying in the desert sand, the wind whispering through the dunes. My last image, the one that stayed with me even as my soul slipped away, was my son leaning over me, his eyes filled with fear and sorrow. Even now, as myself in this life, I still feel that ache, the grief of leaving him behind, the helplessness of not being able to protect him. Sometimes I wonder if my son from that lifetime walks this earth again. If our souls have found each other once more, wearing new faces, living new stories. Whoever he is now, wherever his soul may be at, I don't know. But I miss him. I miss him deeply. And still, that love remains, a father's love, undimmed by death, unbroken by time. Hey, thank you so much for watching my video. I really appreciate it. Please give a like, a comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Thanks. Bye.